India-US ties are going back to normal after Trump's big 50% tariff hit on the country. US officials are now in New Delhi to negotiate terms of a trade deal with India. Trump earlier this month hailed India-US friendship and later suggested that the trade talks have resumed with India. Meanwhile, he is negotiating a trade deal with China as well. The two countries met in Europe and Trump posted on Truth Social saying that it went very well. Now, all this comes amid Trump's push on Europe to impose 100% tariffs on China over purchase of Russian oil. Earlier, he mentioned India too, but in recent days, he seemed to have omitted India from his tweets about Russian oil, but added China on it now. So that's a big U-turn. Anyway, coming back to India-US talks, it's back on, and this time Trump clearly blinked. The tariff impact on India has not been very huge. The trade data for August month had come out on September 15. So what did it say? Well, it was largely positive. India's exports on a year-on-year basis had grown 6.7% in August to $35.1 billion despite Trump's tariffs. It was also the second straight monthly raise. Now, the trade deficit also eased to $26.49 billion from July's $27.35 billion as firms front-loaded shipments. So now let's evaluate the impact of these tariffs. Exports up 6.7% YOY, imports down 10.1% YOY, trade deficit narrowed down to $26.5 billion, GDP growth in the quarter ended June at 7.8%. So India might be hit, some sectors might be facing pressures, but overall impact, well, not so much. So India did not blink here. However, Peter Navarro, Trump's trade advisor, says that India is finally coming to the negotiating table on a trade deal. But well, it looks like it is more other way around. He claims that Prime Minister Modi had tweeted and Trump had replied to that tweet with a positive response that led to this trade talk resuming. But it was Modi who replied to Trump saying that he's also looking forward to talking to the US president. And that's why US officials are now in New Delhi and it's not the other way around. But what's changed? Will the deal go through this time? Well, this week, US Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick slammed India, saying that it has 1.4 billion people. But why would they not buy US corn? So the differences are still there, but this time US has come with some concessions. The deal halted because US demanded for India to open up its dairy and agricultural sector, but that was a red line for New Delhi. However, now senior officials have reportedly said that US does not need a complete entry into India's dairy market. It now focuses on selling premium cheese, including some artisanal cheese and powdered cheese to India. Now, in agriculture side too, US has changed tack, adopting a pragmatic approach. Now, US is the world's biggest producer and exporter of corn, so US wants to sell it to India because it's a huge market. Another reason is granaries in US are overflowing with unsold soybeans and corn, and low crop prices have squeezed US agricultural sector. Small farmers are impacted, and more is due to Trump's policies and trade war. China is the biggest buyer of US soybeans and it has not signed a single cargo from this year's soybean harvest and has turned to Brazil for soybean and corn. But it's a challenge for India too to open up its market. Most of US corn is GM or genetically modified, and India neither permits import or planting of GM corn due to health and economic concerns. It is also an electoral headache for Modi government as of now, as Bihar elections are coming up, and Bihar is the third largest maize producer in India. But if India decided to use the GM corn for ethanol production only, and the two come to a middle ground, the deal might work. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments, and like, share and subscribe to ET Now for more such news and views.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.